guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past few days where we do have a lot of topics to discuss. Of course, mood is very high following the game last night against Napoli, but still key topics to discuss. Firstly, in regards to Joao Cancelo, the club have already decided 100% they will sign him no matter what. It's now just down negotiation with Manchester City. Again, no talks have begun yet, and Cancelo keeps making it very, very clear in the media that he wants to continue at Barcelona. Also have some links around Erling, Haaland, and Luis Diaz that we're going to talk about, but mainly around Mason Greenwood, with Deco meeting with the sporting director of Manchester United, Jean Murta, in Barcelona recently to talk about a potential Greenwood operation. We will discuss that. Of course, manager updates. Of course, the club, if they could pick right now, they would rather Xavi stay another season, but of course that's not going to happen. Xavi confirmed last night a billion times that he's not going to stay even if we win the Champions League this season. So of course the search for a new manager continues, with Hansi Flick's name again picking up heavy momentum, and De Zerbi and Luis Enrique's name slowly but surely falling off the pecking order. And finally, we do have some big updates in regards to the kit. We have an update on who will be the sponsor for Barcelona in El Clasico, replacing Spotify, of course, what artist that will be, and also the decision around Barcelona as well for the kit supplier with Laporta. What will he do? Will he pick Nike, or will he switch allegiance and go to Puma? But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is one of the best replica football jersey websites on the market right now. They have a variety of different items at absolutely fantastic prices. For me here today, I'm going to show you guys the training kit from this season. This is the warm-up kit that the players use when they go out for training every single day, pre-games as well. You have here the Spotify logo. They have the club badge on it with the diamond as well. And I also have here one of the sweaters they had from last season. This was the Catalonia version. It feels like I bought this from the Nike store directly. The quality is absolutely unreal. The printing is fantastic. And of course, mainly the prices are unbeatable. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get an additional 15% off your final order. That is BOY. Use it at checkout. You get 15% off your order, and all orders above $80 as well will guarantee you free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Click the top link in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with some of the transfer news around Barcelona over the past few days, and we do have an update coming in from Sport about what is the actual priority for Barcelona in the upcoming summer transfer window. They've come out saying that Deco knows that signing players this summer will be very difficult for Barcelona, but these are the club's transfer targets. Number 1, signing Joao Cancelo on a permanent transfer. Number 2, a top-level defensive midfielder. And number 3, a left winger with dribbling / 1v1 ability. So again, we already knew this, but let's now discuss the big one, which is the number 1 on that list, and that is the future of Joao Cancelo. Mateo Marito from Merlivo has come out saying that Barcelona has every intention of keeping Joao Cancelo. There is no official negotiations between the clubs yet, but Barcelona are very confident in keeping him for the future and already consider him part of next season's plans. I've seen a lot of controversy around Cancelo recently, people thinking that, oh, he's too advanced of a fullback, we shouldn't keep him. Having Kondi on the right and Bali on the left is better. This is the technique, ability, and mindset of Joao Cancelo is a player that you want to keep 100%. He's been one of the players of the season for Barcelona. Again, the defensive work can be worked on a little bit, yes, but he is more of an advanced fullback. That's what you get with Joao Cancelo. What he's done in the final third this season alone has been astonishing, and you can just see in all his posts and all his goals, he just loves the club. It feels like he's a La Masia player, even though he has no ties with the academy whatsoever. This for me is a player that you definitely keep. And also the price, we're talking at most 30 million with variables fixed, whatever the case may be. I think the club want to try and get him for around 20, maybe 25 with variables, but the price as well is ridiculously good. Now, on his futures, Joao Cancelo was speaking to Gazeta de la Sport, and he said that loan from Man City, I don't know my future yet, but I'd like to stay at Barcelona. I grew up with Ronaldinho being my idol, and I'm proud to wear the Barca shirt. Again, from the player's point of view, him staying is the easiest decision ever and will not, cause any issues in regards to personal terms. Just now done negotiations with Manchester City. Will it be difficult or not? They don't want Cancelo. Pep does not want Cancelo to return whatsoever. And of course, Barcelona are desperate to keep him as well. So this should be a very, very smooth operation. It just comes down to the final details. Now, a defender that has been linked with Barcelona recently, but the signing again does not make sense and is pretty much ruled out now, is Mario Hermoso. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Barca is presently not actively pursuing Mario Hermoso's transfer despite recent speculations. He's not a priority for the club. Again, this transfer makes no sense. The only reason why Hermoso was linked with us is because he will be a free agent this summer. If he was not, his name would not be in the papers whatsoever. Again, at center back alone, we have Araujo, Koundé, Christensen, Inigo, Cubarsi, Miguel Fay, Clement Longley, Eric Garcia. That's 8 right there. We don't need to add anyone else. And again, people are telling me, oh, Hermoso can also play at left back. No, thank you. We have Alex Valle as an option from the academy, or we can have Sergi Cardona on a free transfer, who's more of a natural left back than Hermoso. For me, this is an option that should not be contemplated whatsoever, and Barcelona agree with me. Now, the biggest news in regards to transfers around Barcelona has been the talks about Mason Greenwood's potential move to Barcelona. Now, Gigantes, of course, the company owned by Gerardo Romero, caught Deco meeting with the Manchester United sporting director, Jean Murta, and also other members as well, and other agents were present during this meeting. There's video proof of it, him shaking hands with Jean Murta and talking, all that stuff. Apparently, according from the Manchester Evening News, from the Manchester point of view, this meeting was all about analyzing and discussing the transfer market itself, not any specific players. But again, the only player that has any correlation with Manchester United that we have been linked with over recent days has been Mason Greenwood. So this caused more speculation to come about. Following this, Sport did come out saying that Deco met with Joao Murta of Manchester United. They've been taking the opportunity to negotiate with each other. Several names were put on the table, and Mason Greenwood could be one of those options. Now, in regards to Manchester United's view of Greenwood, Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Manchester United will take their time to discuss the future of Mason Greenwood. What I'm hearing is that the player is expected to leave Manchester United this summer on a permanent transfer. Again, this summer he will have 1 year left on his deal, but are Barcelona interested? Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Barcelona is not working on the Mason Greenwood operation despite recent links. Barcelona's focus is on other targets. Like we discussed at the beginning of the video, the price for Barcelona is Joao Cancelo, a pivot, left wing, and Greenwood doesn't check any of those boxes. Last time I checked, he's not Joao Cancelo. Last time I checked, he's not a pivot. And last time I checked, he's not a winger on the left with 1v1 dribbling ability. Mason Greenwood is a striker who can play off the right to fit a system if needs be. He has no ability to play on the left whatsoever. Of course, he played on the left against Barcelona at the Montjuic, but that's because Borlas didn't want him facing up against Araujo, so he put him on the weaker side, and again, he was non-existent. The signing of Mason Greenwood for me makes no sense whatsoever. Good player, yes, I think there's definitely talent there, but doesn't fit any of our needs. At striker, you have Lewandowski, Victor Roque, Marc Guille. On the right, you have Lamine Yamal, you have Rafinha, you have Ferran Torres, might be going for Estavio Willian, of course, from Palmeiras in the summer. This doesn't fit us whatsoever. If we're missing a right winger, if we're missing a striker, at least this transfer would make sense, but it doesn't make sense anyway. So I don't think we're going to be signing Mason Greenwood. I think this is more so maybe his agents and his, using the names of Barcelona to kind of, bolster up his price just a little bit. But for now, nothing in it. We'll wait and see how things progress when we come closer to the summer transfer window. But as of this current moment, Barcelona not considering the signing whatsoever of Mason Greenwood. Now, staying on the theme of the Premier League, Barcelona have also been linked with 2 other attackers from the Premier League apart from Mason Greenwood. Well, he's on loan from there. Anyways, one of them is, of course, Erling Haaland. This is coming in, of course, after speculation and reports about his agent having a meeting with Deco, I think now a week ago, and what, came out of that meeting. Fabrizio Romano came out saying the meeting between Deco and Haaland's agent was to discuss different players. There's something between Barcelona and Haaland as of today, and of course, we know the financial situation of Barcelona as well, how they can, let's be honest, not afford this deal as of this current moment. Now, discussing other players, I think the other players that the agent has is like Mazzuari from Bayern Munich. She has a De Ligt as well. So I don't know what other players we're really discussing from her agent list. They're not that glamorous apart from Haaland, De Ligt, and Mazzuari. But I think Haaland is definitely one to keep an eye on for the future. I think Barcelona will target him once Lewandowski hangs up his boots at Barcelona and calls it quit. I think definitely this summer, no chance. 2025 though, you never know. Of course, that's when his release clause will be active. But a surprising name has also emerged recently, and that is the name of Luis Diaz. There are reports coming in from the Colombia media saying that Luis Diaz's agent informed Barcelona that if they want to sign Luis Diaz, they would have to pay Liverpool 120 to 140 million euros this summer. Now, this transfer makes a bit of sense. We know that Laporta is a big fan of Luis Diaz. Also, Sport did confirm that Laporta apparently met with Luis Diaz's agent recently. This one makes sense. Left winger, 1v1 ability, a position that we need, and a player who's very good in that position. Keep in mind, before he went to Liverpool, when he was at Porto, Barcelona were heavily linked with him before Liverpool came in and snatched the deal up. Apparently, Joao Laporta is a big fan of the player from, of course, his Porto days, not just now, because now he's performing all that sort of stuff. Luis Diaz, a hell of a player, would definitely take him at Barcelona. My only question mark is the injury record. He's kind of injury prone. He's in and fit and not fit a lot of the time, but I think quality wise, definitely a good player. For that price though, you are having a laugh. Rafael Leao, you can get him for around 70 million. So we're not paying triple digits for a left winger. We're looking at maybe 60, 70, 80 at the package as the absolute most. This makes no sense whatsoever in terms of the financial point of view, but in regards to play profile, at least it makes somewhat of sense. So wait and see how things turn out in that regard, so keep your eyes on that. But in regards to these two, I think there's definitely some chances of them joining Barcelona in the future, but I would say right now, as of this current moment, I would say there's a bit of a better chance that Haaland joins Barcelona in the future than Luis Diaz. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past few days. The only real conversation has been around a player that's actually not currently at Barcelona, but someone who we retain part of their future, and that is Nico Gonzalez. Now, Sport have come out saying that Nico Gonzalez's latest performances have not gone unnoticed, and Jorge Mendes has informed Barcelona that offers could arrive for him in the summer, especially from Premier League clubs. Barcelona have a buyback option of 30 million euros, as well as 40% of any future sale as well. Now, Nico's start this season at Porto has been nothing short of abysmal, but since December, his remontada has been absolutely unbelievable. He's been performing very well for them, one of their better players on recent form as well, and this could maybe earn him a move in the summer. So this is more so just keeping your eyes on the developments around Nico. We could buy him back for 30. I think that could definitely be an option to consider. If you're comparing Amadou Onana of Everton for 60 million, Nico for 30, who would you rather have in the pivot? I mean, I think it's definitely somewhat of a debate to be had, but again, keep your eyes on Nico's future. Whether it's going to be linked with Barcelona or a move elsewhere, the club will be involved in some sort of capacity. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team and the, La Masia side of Barcelona. We do have one contract renewal update, and that is on Guille Fernandez, one of the bright gems coming out of La Masia. Currently, a player that's been highly touted for I would say about 8 months or so, and his contract renewal is very important from the club's perspective. Tony Juan Marti from Sport has come out saying that negotiations for a contract renewal of Guille Fernandez will begin shortly. There is strong interest from German clubs, but he prioritizes continuing at Barcelona. For Barcelona, Guille is the highest level in terms of production. There is total confidence in him, and the club is determined to present him an important sporting roadmap to seal his renewal. He can sign a 3-year deal until 2027 after he turns 16 in June. He's of course currently 15 years of age. Not only does Guille himself want to continue at Barcelona, the club where he's dreams of succeeding, his entourage and his agent Jorge Mendes also want the same. Again, we are just pumping talent like no tomorrow, and to be honest, I knew about Guille Fernandez more than I knew about Pau Cubarsi a few months ago. This player is that highly rated that I knew about him back, I would say 10, maybe even a year ago. He's crunching numbers like no tomorrow. He's opening up eyes. I've seen some clips of him as well. It looks brilliant, and again, with Barcelona's financial issues, there's definitely a roadmap for these youngsters to come and break into the first team. I mean, if you just look over the past few seasons of how many players made their debuts for Barcelona, it is astounding. I think this season you had 10, the last season before that he had like 7 or 8, and look at the progression as well. You had Gavi being promoted through the ranks, Fermin Lopez, Pau Cubarsi, Hector Fort, other players that were moved up the rank and then got either loaned or sold. It's the roadmap to the first team is so achievable. Not like we've seen back in the day, back in Bartomeu, when he just buys players left, right, and center and does not trust the academy whatsoever. There's definitely a roadmap there. So hopefully the club can present him a good offer. Again, with his agent being Jorge Mendes and him wanting to continue with Barcelona, this renewal overall should be fairly straightforward. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past few days. Firstly, some updates in regards to the Spanish Federation, again, just being a nuisance around Barcelona. You can see the headline I have there's the caption: Spain want to basically kill Pau Cubarsi, and that's because Alfredo Martinez from Sport has come out saying the Federation, the RFEF, does not rule out Pau Cubarsi's participation in both the Euros and the Olympic Games this summer if he continues his enormous progression. Now, we've seen this before happen with Pedri 3 years ago in 2021 when he played the Euros, started and had, I think, young player of the tournament, then went to the Olympics and got silver. They want to do basically the same thing with Cubarsi. Now, the club hopefully will learn from their mistakes and learn from, the issues that Pedri now is suffering to this day. From that, will Cubarsi start at the Euros? If the Euros is tomorrow, I think he honestly has a chance. But a few months' time, you never know. Again, he's not even been called up or played one cap for the Spanish national team quite yet. I think the Olympic Games he will probably be involved in heavily, with that being under 23 as well. If if he gets called up to the Euros and just is there as a squad player and doesn't play too much and then goes to the Olympics, I honestly wouldn't mind. It's just about the game time in the Euros compared to the Olympic Games. Again, the club do have a say in regards to the Olympic Games. They can pull him out, or they can kind of convince him to pull out himself as well. But when you're 17 years old, you're at the time of your life, you're starting for Barcelona, you want to go out there and achieve Olympic dreams with your nation. I mean, it's hard to force the player to pull out from that. It's going to be, once Spain call you up, we're basically done for here. It's just about the game time, managing those minutes. I think with the Euros, if he just gets called up, doesn't play, and then goes to the Olympics and plays, of course, the entirety, I think I'll survive. It's just about whether Luis de la Fuente sees Cubarsi as a starter or instantly during the upcoming international break. Of course, Cubarsi is going to get called up for the Spain this international break, no doubt about that. But his starting position and his position in the squad is what remains in question. So we'll see how things turn out in that regard. But keep your eyes on Spain absolutely rinsing Cubarsi's game time this summer. Now, there has been a lot of news coming out in regards to not only the Barcelona kit itself, but the brand that surrounds it. Now, Mundo Deportivo has come out saying the Barcelona store had an income of 101.9 million euros in the 2022-23 season. So, of course, last season, which is the club's record. But the current contract with Nike is limiting it. Nike prevents Barcelona from opening official stores outside of Spain and selling shirts and other merchandise online outside of Europe, but the club is working on it through Barcelona Licensing and Merchandising BLM. I will add this. If Barcelona's official website makes shipping worldwide, I will be broke. The only reason I have money in my account and I'm not sitting on the streets lathered in Barcelona, merchandise and accessories is because the official website does not ship globally. It only ships in some countries in Europe, like it shipped to France, the UK, Sweden, and Poland, and somewhere around there. But if it gets worldwide, I might go broke. I might have to file for bankruptcy. Anyways, the club can sell 49% of BLM, but have not done so yet despite the negotiation. The forecast is to reach around 120 million euros of income this season and around 200 million euros by 2026. The roadmap for BLM will be drawn based on the decision with Nike, but it is a very high ceiling. So again, Barcelona, the Nike decision does not only come down to the money that we get paid, but also the brand exposure as well, being able to unlock the handcuffs and broaden into a bigger horizon where you can make even more money. Now, in regards to the kit, of course, as we all know, the main sponsor is Spotify, and during Clasicos we tend to see artists and other bands become the sponsor. Of course, we do have a Clasico coming up in just over a month's time, around a month and a week or so. And we do know who will be the new sponsor for Barcelona, and it will be Karol G, who is a Colombian singer. To be honest, never heard of her in my life, but apparently she's big, so I mean, it is what it is. Now you have here the two potential designs, with the one on the left being the most likely one, but it could be also the one on the right, which apparently like some sort of tattoo that represents her, or I don't know the logistics, but Karol G is expected to be the next kit sponsor for Barcelona for the Clasico. That's going to replace, of course, the Spotify logo, and for the artist and brand exposure. Talk about brand exposure. This is, of course, on another level. I think this is one of the best things that Laporta has done since joining Barcelona. The Spotify sponsorship with the ones we had now, Drake, we had Rosalia, we've had the Rolling Stone, and now we're having Karol G, which I've heard of the other three before, but never this one. So we'll wait and see what the official design is. I'm expecting Barcelona to market it, I would say, in the next week or so, but again, it's pretty much been confirmed. It's just now a question of design, but the person itself has been confirmed. But of course, the main question around the kit will be the decision on the kit supplier, with market coming out saying that Laporta is now debating between continuing with Nike or switching to Puma. The club believes it can and should be receiving more than 105 million euros, 85 fixed plus 20 in add-ons paid by Nike, although it is a more powerful and global firm than Puma. So again, Laporta now has pretty much ruled out supplying our own kit, which we talked about in the last transfer video, going with Hummel as the kit's manufacturer, then doing everything on our own. Super difficult. Is now down to staying with Nike on a better contract or switching to Puma. I think in the end, like I told you guys a week ago, like I told you guys a month ago, we're gonna stick with Nike in the end. I think it's just all this has just been about getting a better deal. If Real Madrid are getting paid 200 million euros, I think 150 fixed, 50 in variables, we should be getting somewhere near those numbers. And again, like we talked about from the Mundo Deportivo report earlier, we're having record shirt sales, and Nike are just blathering us in money, and we're not getting any cut of that whatsoever. So hopefully the club can resolve this as soon as possible. But again, the decision on the kit supplier for the foreseeable future will be coming very soon. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is, of course, the latest news around Barcelona's search for a new manager. In every single news roundup transfer video, we gotta go through this section, and we're gonna conclude today's video with the updates. Now, Hansi Flick's name is still picking up a lot of momentum. With Santi Ona from Foot Mercado, he's been absolutely unbelievable over the past 2 years. Everything that he says comes to fruition pretty much. He's come out saying that Hansi Flick and his agent met with Barcelona's board a few days ago and talks were positive. So again, good track for Hansi Flick. He also mentioned that in February, Maximiliano Allegri was proposed to Joao Laporta, but he's not a priority for Barcelona. Very interesting. I think Allegri ball, keep that far away from Barcelona as possible, and that of course is the correct decision from Barcelona to not consider him as an option. Staying on Hansi Flick, Roger Toledo from Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Hansi Flick's entourage actually denies that the coach met with the club in Barcelona. So you're getting, a big catch in two. Of course they're going to deny it. Where they're going to say, yes, I met with Laporta, it was a great meeting. He's obviously going to deny it in the face or in the eyes of the media. Now, not only is Hansi Flick doing well internally at Barcelona, he's also doing some work outside of Barcelona that's giving him a bit of the benefit of the doubt. Renewal have come out saying that Hansi Flick in Manchester, he met one of Guardiola's former assistant in Dominic Torrent, who of course was the former Galatasaray manager. He was managing Galatasaray when we faced him in the Europa League. He of course was the one that signed Inaki Peña on loan as well. They talked about football and about Barcelona as well. So apparently there's also reports that he could be one of the assistant coaches of Hansi Flick if he does get appointed as the manager as well. So, Hansi Flick is making moves out here. He's talking about Barcelona, the philosophy, learning Spanish, and one of the best moves that Hansi Flick did was of course appoint one of Laporta's friends in Fini Zahavi as his manager. And yet again, more meetings have been taking place between Barcelona and Fini Zahavi. Fini Zahavi was actually at the game last night against Napoli, and again they were pictured at a restaurant on Monday in the Catalan capital for more than 2 hours. Pictures and videos of them coming out of the same restaurant. A meeting definitely took place. What the meeting was about to go, though, was never confirmed or speculated, but they had a meeting. And again, it's either going to be about Lewandowski or Hansi Flick, let's be honest here, because of course Fini Zahavi was the agent of Robert Lewandowski and no one else of note. So Hansi Flick's name is picking up pace. I think more so if we do appoint him, it's going to be because Laporta wants to do Fini Zahavi a favor at some point. But in terms of actual philosophy, I'm not still quite keen on Hansi Flick, but if he's the option the club go with, of course, we will have to back it. But there are, of course, other names lingering in the background, one of them being Roberto De Zerbi. Renewal came out saying that Deco has told Laporta that he has doubts about Roberto De Zerbi, again, mainly so for his experience, and now the release clause is also an issue, but now the experience is an issue as well. And like Tony Juan Marti said in the last video, the interest around De Zerbi and Hansi Flick is not generating a total consensus at the club, and this is, another example of it. Now, in regards to, managers that you could say have been ruled out, one of them definitely probably is Luis Enrique, with Alfredo Martinez coming out saying that Enrique is on option for Barcelona, and there have been no contacts with him either. Again, very unlikely that PSG will sack him, and I don't think he has the capability of leaving his position without paying compensation as well. So I think Luis Enrique at this point is definitely ruled out. But again, the question still is, who's going to be the next manager? Who is the priority? Who is someone that Barcelona actually like? And to this point, the club are just taking their time with it. Mateo Merito has come out saying that there are many coaches who are currently applying for the Barcelona job through their agents, but the board has not yet advanced any conversations. We still have to wait for the next coach. Thank God for this. The club are taking their time with it. They want to talk to everyone, evaluate the entire situation. Again, my only qualm is that we appoint the manager, or at least it's well known in the media, by June the 1st. That is it. By the way, Nagelsmann, there's been reports about Nagelsmann wanting to choose his next club before the Euros as well. So that kind of opens up the door for Barcelona a little bit, but I think having them in before June the 1st is going to be a big thing. Of course, he can be appointed the new Barcelona manager, take Germany to the Euros, and then leave and come to the Barcelona job immediately. But I feel it's more easier said than done. But again, Barcelona taking their time with the manager decision, and also I think a little bit of this has to do with Barcelona kind of hoping Xavi stays. Now, last night after the game against Napoli, of course, Xavi was asked for the trillionth time in the media if he's gonna stay or not, and Xavi said, "You keep on asking me if I will stay if we win the Champions League. No, I will not. My future will not change. My response will not change. I will leave at the end of the season, and I will enjoy the Champions League next season for Barcelona, but as a fan." So Xavi is still absolutely adamant he's going to leave the club at the end of the season. I think even Rafael Use came out talking to the media after the games, and that we kind of hope that Xavi stays. We love Xavi. We never want to sack him and all this sort of stuff. So the club are low-key really hoping that Xavi changes his mind. But like I told you guys, I don't think he will. This is, when you make decisions like this from the Barcelona point of view, it's never going to turn around. We've seen it again with Luis Enrique, with Pep Guardiola, with, players leaving the club like Andres Iniesta, Carlos Puyol. You don't just make the decision and then change your mind later on. It's just idiotic. So we'll wait and see what happens with the new manager. Again, we're going to take our time with it. I don't think we'll get anything really concrete, really big until we hit probably end of April, I would say. But again, it's something that we have to figure out as soon as possible, but also most importantly, appointing the right manager. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past few days. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want firstly, of course, is your thoughts on that manager search. Who would you go for? Who would be your priority? Would you really, get on your knees and beg for Xavi to stay? Second, your thoughts on Joao Cancelo signing on a permanent transfer. Will be your, parameters to it. Would you only sign him for a certain fee? Would you maybe try and loan him again and then sign him for a permanent signing, not this summer, but the next summer after that? Thirdly, your thoughts on Deco meeting with the sporting director of Manchester United and John Murtough. I think it has to do with the Greenwood operation, or maybe just random football talk. And finally, your thoughts on the decision in regards to the kit supplier. Do you think that Laporta will pick with Nike and try and get a better deal with them, or switch allegiance to Puma? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca. Yeah.